What I usually do when I'm in that situation is I take note. So I kind of got a mood calendar, right? It's usually based off how business is, and I take note of it so that if you come back to this area next year, you'll realize it's just, oh, okay, I should be out of this by June 5th. You know what I'm saying? I'd always create a calendar just so I can know just how sales were during the season and just kind of where I was. And I would notice patterns. Like by year 2, I would notice that I would have a slump around the same time. So I would do things to get me out of that slump. Like if I know, okay, you know, April's and May's were usually slow for me, that's when my vacation would be. But June would be slamming. Like June would be crazy. So I would just take note of it and write it down and be mindful of it moving forward. Because the first year is weird. Like you kind of feeling your way through, especially when you leave your job, you kind of feeling your way through. You got ups and downs and you a little bit panicky. Like you like, oh man, I ain't got to call, my phone ain't ringing all month. What's up? By that second year, you'll be like, oh, the first week in June last year, I didn't really do nothing. Like I didn't get much. So I must be in that. And it's kind of reassuring to know that, man, by June 18th, my junk was slamming. So you can do a few things to make it through. One, you can say, okay, I'm going to up marketing during these times. Or 2, I'm going to take a vacation, or this is going to be my off time. Or, you know what I'm saying? You'll be able to prepare a little more for the highs and the lows, because there are highs and lows. I'm not going to, you know, I go through it as well. And by like year 2, year 3, I was so used to where I was mentally and where business was. I was so comfortable in my ability to bring in new clients that even during a slump, I would realize like, okay, this is, you know, it's normal this time of year. But that's what I used to do to kind of help with what you're going through. And I totally been there before. Do discounts ever come across as desperate or just upping the price and then lowering it as a discount? With retail, it seems like a lot of business do this and it gets skeptical. Not really. There are some companies that claim to stay away from discounts, but this is just not true. The companies like Gucci, and those are companies that lose billions in the counterfeit market. And then you find out there's companies that have outlets like Ralph Lauren or Nike or Old Navy. And then when you do your research, you determine that they create clothing specifically for their outlets. Under Armour, those are companies that create clothing specifically for their outlets. You'll notice that a lot of these companies do a majority of their business during these sales months or during the third or fourth quarter. You all say, I've written down all of my upsells and added descriptions. There are many, but I have a feeling that I have a lot of pages in my proposal. Does that scare off a client? That's a great question. Yep, they do scare off a client. That may mean you do too much. That's why a niche is so important, because you may do too much and people see all of this stuff and they're like, what in the world? I'm gonna tell you, look at a company like McDonald's. They sell a lot, but they don't. I'm gonna let that digest for a minute. Attention photographers and filmmakers. You've been conditioned by your favorite YouTuber to think that blowing money on gear and a crappy portfolio site will bring you business. And that is complete BS. My name is Ty. I'm a former Army combat photographer and the owner of a small production company that has worked with these big clients in the past. I created Flashfilm Academy, an online platform designed to teach you the business side of the industry, focusing on helping you develop a consistent 6-figure business designed to help you go from your current 9-to-5 to doing what you love to do for a living with the gear you already have. We teach you everything from how to even start a business. What should I name my company? What should my colors be? To where to find a consistent flow of high-end clients that are ready to buy now. Click the link below. Let's get started. Great question, Tim asks, do you think discounts work better than free add-ons, like purchase 2 testimonials and get a third one for free? I think discounts definitely work. Discounts make people buy something they weren't thinking about buying. BOGOs, me giving you extra something that you weren't thinking about buying it, don't really push people. Me giving you something at a rate that's way cheaper than you had planned on spending sometimes pushes you towards getting something. So it just depends on the person. It depends on your target audience and knowing your niche. And listen, make sure you tag it to the holiday. Depending on what your niche is, right now for my niche, corporate events, it is conference season. Knowing that it's conference season, I may offer a discount for conference season. that's perfect for my industry because they're booking a lot anyway. Let me touch on that real quick because I had ran an ad and a guy was like, I got a friend of mine and he wrote up my contracts and I feel comfortable. I got no problem with that. The big thing with the contract pack is this. They're based off content creators, and I keep updating them. They're based off content creators who got experience in the industry. So there are clauses that if you haven't been in the industry, you won't add to them, right? Most people contracts just have payment terms, right? There's a contract that states that I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, and you're gonna pay me for it. Okay, but there aren't terms that say if I'm shooting your wedding and I'm bringing my drone and y'all decide y'all want to do fireworks and my drone get hit by a Roman candle, who's gonna pay for it? Well, that happens more than you know, especially this time of year. If they throwing rice and rice get in my blades and my drone fall and cut up the bridesmaid mama and now she want to throw hands and we got to scrap our way out of a situation, who's liable for it? Those are things that happen. So there's clauses like that are in these contracts in each different contract. That's why it's not a one size fit all contract. Or second shooter agreement. I can't, to those who got it, no. You got somebody at your event you hired, they in that mug passing off their business card. They like, come holler at me after this. And we gonna, how you pay, how much? Listen, you could have paid this if you would have. You get them people, right? You need somebody quick. You hire somebody and they over there doing side deals. What happens if that happens? Like, what do you do? Can you sue them? Did they agree to it? Like, you need those contracts in place. Is shooting corporate events a great way to network with other potential clients? Absolutely, depending on what corporate event you shoot. That is why it is my niche of choice. It is a never-ending niche, and one of the greatest things these are little tips. I'm gonna give you this. I shouldn't give you this because this is something that's in module 1. But this is something else. I'm gonna punch you in the throat. I'm not gonna give you no more of these. Module 1, I tell you, whoever the big wigs are at an event, when you're shooting corporate events, you always get pictures of them. When you get good pictures of the big wigs, they find out who you are and they will book you for more events. I get really good candid shots of them. I get business cards from them. I deliver them to them via their email. They don't have to go through the shoot proof or whatever way I deliver them. They don't have to go through that. I deliver them to them. They hire me for everything. Hey, keep in mind that the video you just watched contains clips from a longer lecture that's available to our gold members at flashfilmacademy.com. You can go to flashfilmacademy.com to watch the complete lectures if you want to get all the gems and all the information, or you can stay on the channel and continue watching some of our content here. Just click one of those boxes somewhere around here. You know where to go. Right up in here, somewhere, wherever it pops up, you know what to do. You got this.